Are you looking for the best video game controllers? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best game controllers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Victrix Pro BFG Wireless Controller. The design of this controller in any consistent state is more like a blank piece of art, something you tweak to your taste as you work on the optimal speedrun, a new milestone, or impressive teamwork. The Victrix Pro BFG is versatile and adaptable like other best gaming controllers. You can easily swap out the foremost components with the attachments provided, according to your desires and gameplay requirements. The controller features an incredible tournament lock mode and exquisite trigger blocks regulated by switches fitted at the back. This prevents unintentional button presses on the system during a competition that could end up in disqualification. Game volume may be changed by holding down the function button on the front of the controller while using the up and down D-pad keys. Alternatively, you can use L1 and R1 to cycle through audio profiles while pressing the function button twice to silence yourself. At number 2. Xbox Elite Series 2 Controller. The Xbox One Elite Series 2 has new textured grips extending up the controller's sides, covering the controller's wings fully. You won't typically rest your finger on a smooth surface unless you push a button or paddle. The grip design is low-key and does not appear resistant to damage or deterioration. The swappable components, the paddles, the 4- and 8-way D-pads, and the patterned, smooth, and concentric analog sticks return unmodified. They are swiftly swapped and magnetically locked in. However, the analog sticks have a fresh twist underneath the replaceable nubs. You may change the tension in the analog sticks by removing the analog sub and twisting a column inside the stick with the instrument provided in the box or a little screwdriver. At number 3. DualSense Edge Wireless Controller. In recent memory, one of the most eagerly anticipated additions to the PlayStation ecosystem is probably the DualSense Edge. Sony has finally released a homegrown gamepad that aims to fully realize the potential of the DualSense after outsourcing the development of its professional controllers to officially authorized third parties for under 10 years. Although DualSense has received a lot of spotlights, it's fair to argue that it hasn't yet reached its maximum capability. Numerous reports of stick drift, poor battery life, and a lack of support from third-party titles have eclipsed haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, and several other unique PS5 features. The DualSense Edge and the standard PS5 controller have remarkably similar looks. However, it appears in the hand as a much heavier, more ergonomically designed gamepad. The 2 function buttons below the analog sticks may be the most visible. These function as hotkeys to quickly swap between controller profiles and other customizable profiles on the edge. There are 2 spaces for removable back buttons on the rear. The ability to replace the stick modules should stick drift become an issue, perhaps the feature that matters most. For those who have experienced stick drift problems, this might look like a god faith builder, but I'm not sure it deserves credit. At number 4. Razer Wolverine V2 Pro. In essence, Razer Wolverine V2 Pro revamped the Wolverine V2 Chroma, altered the face buttons, added a touchpad, and created something that matches the design of the PS5. Although the white model I tested was a bit of a dust magnet and easily marked from ordinary use, it is available in white and black or an all-black version. The Wolverine V2 Pro ranks as the top PC controller because it is also PC-friendly. It can be operated wired or wirelessly using a threaded USB-C cable or a USB-A dongle with a high-speed 2.4 GHz wireless link. Everything is adjusted using the Razer Controller mobile app, which is a little tricky to link to but is incredibly useful once you are there. Strangely enough, a sensitivity clutch feature is intended for specific game situations where you want to increase or decrease stick sensitivity. Using this with PC games that don't have a lot of gamepad support could be helpful. In contrast to other PlayStation controllers outside of Razer's selection, the Wolverine V2 Pro is a hefty controller. It recalls the Nacon Revolution Unlimited in that aspect, though if you're used to something like the Razer Rage Tournament Edition, that will be a closer connection. The stick cap's breadth is another aspect I genuinely enjoy. Although there isn't an attachment for a more imposing stick, these feel like sumo wrestlers of the analog stick world and are simple to use for precision movement and aiming. At number 5. Thrustmaster EAP XR Pro. The Thrustmaster EAP XR Pro controller offers a lot of appealing features. But, you can choose between a stunning design that draws inspiration from Forza Horizon 5, an update to one of the best modular controllers on the market, a mini steering wheel that proves it is more than just a novelty, excellent bumpers, and some absolute comfort if your hands are more extensive than average and you prefer a more extended controller. However, most of its gamepads are toolless, so you can grab a thumbstick, remove it from one slot, and insert it into another. Only 3 of the 4 modular blocks in this controller are truly movable, limiting their flexibility. The D-pad must be lifted out using a little tool because the face buttons are fastened into position. If you have another compatible set, you can swap out the triggers, but you will also need the included little multi-tool for this. The Thrustmaster EAP XR Pro controller is one of those gamepads that never runs out of functionality. Because it is primarily intended for Xbox, it is interoperable with the Series X and S and may function as an Xbox One controller. Its face buttons are the conventional A, X, Y, and B because it is also adaptable to the most incredible gaming PCs. It also features buttons for choices, sharing, and the in-game menu, all supported by the Xbox Home button in the center. The Thrustmaster EAP XR Pro has convenient utility buttons for adjusting headset volume and switching controller profiles below the facial modules and a 3.5mm connector for connecting one of the highest quality gaming headsets. Instead of the grips, the back side of the controller has 4 small, round rear buttons incorporated into the controller's body. They are awkward to use due to their placement and small size, and while your grip may be different, I found that my middle fingers provided the most comfort when using them. The 4 and 3 buttons have a lovely slanted edge, which made them slightly more usable, which was a bummer. Because of their small size, slip-offs were a frequent inconvenience.